BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is our Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team, the key questions we're going to be answering about that team, and our August 17th preseason preview here at Big Country Preps. With my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom. And tonight, Dan, we've got one of the powerhouse teams in the Big Country, a team that we're expecting a lot of this year. They went all the way to Arlington last year, the Hawley Bearcats.
Yeah, and I think we say this every year now, but the fact that we're talking about Hawley as being a powerhouse program and doing so earnestly, I mean, this is a really, really good program at this point. It's just a huge testament to the job that Coach Mitch Abels has done there. You're talking about, at this point, almost an 800 winning percentage at a Hawley program that had very, very little success before he arrived. So a tremendous job. And this year looks like another great opportunity to have another great team. They've got 18 Letterman back from last year's state runner-up squad, 7 offensive starters, 8 defensive starters. And if you're a Hawley football fan, you've got to be excited. Obviously, you share a district with Cisco, and that looks like it'll be a heavyweight fight there at the end of their district schedule. But this Hawley team, I think, should go into the season feeling very confident they've got another opportunity to have a really special season.
Well, they've got some good seniors. They're going to have good senior leadership. They're going to have skill. They're going to have some size, quickness. This is going to be a very good football team that could be good enough again to go all the way to Jerry World. It's possible. And yes, that season finale with Cisco is going to be quite possibly the Big Country game of the year. We shall see. And it sure looks like it on paper. No doubt about it. Let's talk about some of these seniors that they've got. They've got Casey Shields at wide receiver, senior. He had 722 yards receiving a year ago. Will Scott, another receiver, senior. He caught 23 catches last year. Also quite a defender with 110 tackles at an outside linebacker spot. Deontay Ramon, a quality junior, more of a hybrid type wide receiver, running back. He's capable of running the ball well. He's also a durable target to throw to. Austin Compton, a quality running back, a tough as nails guy, 220 pounds, rushed for almost 1,000 yards last year. And that's just the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you got to also mention quarterback Rody Hooper, another senior that threw for almost 2,400 yards last year, 27 touchdowns, just 12 interceptions. They've got a lot of guys. They've got a lot of players with a lot of experience that were big parts of their team. And I think one of the crazy things about last year is they did what they did, losing Austin Compton at the end of the year. You mentioned Deontay Ramon, a kid who was playing primarily receiver for him early in the season, had to switch over to the running back position because of Compton's injury. Did a really good job there. Now you've got Compton back. It allows you another weapon on the edge with Ramon, and that just makes their offense even better. So I think when you look at skill talent, this Hawley team is loaded with it. So that's going to be really fun to watch. The one question mark they're going to have a little bit is they did lose some really, really good, really experienced offensive linemen. They'll have to replace those. But I think at this point, Coach Abels has built a program it's a reload program. And especially when you're talking about a 7-3 JV team, kids that had success at that level, they're going to come up there expecting to win. It's going to be another good group.
A 7-3 JV team. Some people might look at that and think, well, that's good, but that's not great. But you know what? When you consider a lot of their young talent was already on varsity a year ago, and they still went 7-3 on JV, that makes it a scary group. That just shows you the type of depth that this program has developed. That's scary good.
And I think that's the big story with Hawley is that they've at this point achieved a level where it's a program that you expect them to be good year in and year out, and they generally live up to those expectations. And this year should be another fun one. I think that Coach Abels feels like this team has an opportunity to defend that regional championship and get back to the state championship game, which would be just a remarkable achievement. And obviously some big roadblocks in the way, starting in district where you've got, again, Cisco and a very vastly improved Stanford team. But if, like I said at the very outset of this, if you're a Hawley football fan, you should be very excited about the prospects of your team this year.
One of the drawbacks to being a very successful program, one of the drawbacks is nobody wants to play you.
Yeah.
Nobody. And if you take a look at Hawley's schedule, they have got a murderer's row set up in non-district. And this is a result of being as great a team, a greater program as they have developed there. Cupcakes are not going to play it. And this non-district portion of this schedule here is brutal. They've got the tools to go in there and win some ball games, but it's going to be awfully tough. They've got Class 3A superpower Jim Ned to start off the season. That's going to be at Hawley. That's going to be a big ball game. They've got Lubbock Roosevelt, who was a monster team a year ago, a Class 3A monster powerhouse. That's going to be at home again. Two great games. at home to start off the season against two great Class 3A teams. Then a road date at always tough Eastland. That'll be a toughie. And then at Albany, a Class 2A power that is ranked number 1 in the state by Dave Campbell's Texas football. That's going to be on the road. So this is going to be a very challenging non-district portion of the schedule, which will get Hawley ready for a playoff run later on. No doubt.
Yeah, there's no question. As good as that, the top of that district it will be, and we just mentioned some of the challenges they'll face there. They're not going to see anything in district they haven't seen in non-district with that lineup they've got. But they will open district play on September 23rd at Anson, then enjoy their open date, and then they will follow that with a home game against Colorado City, a road date at Winters, a home game against Olney, a road date at Stamford, and then finish up district play with, again, what could be the big country game of the year at home against Cisco. It's going to be a very, very fun schedule. And like you said, Hawley will be very well prepared come playoff time.
There's just so many fun games on that Hawley schedule to take a look at. It's like you want to be at all of them. It's just so many. What a lineup against what should be a very, very powerful Class 2A D1 football team that we may see in Jerry World yet again. That's possible.
Yeah. And again, I am forever, just kind of amazed at the program that has been built at Hawley to where these are the type of non-district schedules you have to play because nobody else wants to play. It's just a tremendous job that Coach Abels has done. And at this point, you look at those games, obviously every one of those games is tough, but I don't think any of those is necessarily unwinnable for the team that Hawley's built. So it's going to be a really, really fun non-district schedule and then into a fun district set slate.
Absolutely. And with that, it is about time to wrap up tonight's edition of the Countdown to Two-A-Day series, the Hawley Bearcats. But before we do that, we want to remind you that we got 3 separate subscription packages here at bigcountrypreps.com. Got a monthly for $5 a month. We've got a semi-annual 6-month subscription where we knock that price down to $4 a month. And then we got an annual 12-month subscription where we knock that price down to $3 a month, $36 for a full year of Big Country High School athletic coverage. And we want to remind you that despite high inflation, our prices have stayed the same.
We'd also like to remind you before we close out this episode of our Countdown series to be on the lookout for that August 17th Big Country Preps preseason football preview. There will just be a ton of area football coverage. You will not want to miss that. In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Day series. And make sure you join us again tomorrow when we will be talking about the Stamford Bulldogs here at bigcountrypreps.com.